Good morning. Peace be with you. We made it to the end of the week. Yay! I'm Aimee Wasinski. I haven't seen y'all for a few weeks, but welcome to Friday's Coffee and Conversation. We are ending here the first week of Lent. I can't believe it. It's been already a week. But anyway, good morning, Libby and Greg and Gina, Sonia. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you. I have my cranberries with me, my cranberries in conversation. And I have it in my mug because I was joking that Greg always says it's coffee in conversation, not cranberries, not this, that. But I said it's your drink of choice. And that's my drink of choice. It happens to begin with a C, cranberry juice in conversation. So it's in my mug. The kids are home this week for spring break. So I had gotten them these mugs for Christmas, make today count, very understated. But when they were kids, I used to always yell after them, make today count. And they'd roll their eyes at me and walk out the door. So anyway, I thought it was just a funny thing. But how true is that? Make today count. Every day we get a new start. Brand new start in the morning, and it's ours to do with what we want, and we can choose to make today count, whether that's for a lot of people or one person. It really doesn't matter, right? So anyway, welcome everyone. Good morning, Gina, Millie, yay, cranberries in conversation, and good morning, sunshine. Good to see you all this morning. So this morning, I got the day 10 of the side-by-side videos that Greg has been sharing with us this Lent, the small 2-minute reflection video series. And I hope you've been watching it, not just through Coffee and Conversation. We've all been kind of highlighting those, but continue to watch it throughout Lent and visit those topics because it's so interesting. And just 2 minutes is not much in your day, and it gives you something to think about to go through the rest of the day. But I, interestingly enough, got this one about Plead the Fifth. So I thought that was interesting because then when I'm like, Plead the Fifth, and I listen to it, I'm like, oh my gosh, thou shalt not kill, right? Talking about the fifth commandment, not about pleading the fifth and not saying anything. I'm not going to say anything, right? Because we're going to make the day count for someone or someone else. And sometimes that means speaking up, talking, and sharing what you believe. But so I said, oh my gosh, the fifth commandment, thou shalt not kill. Well, in some realms, people are like, well, of course. But what does that really mean? Like for most of us, I would say, we're not going to have to worry about that particular commandment. Obviously, there are many times when you probably have said to yourself or someone else, oh my gosh, I'm going to kill them. But most of the time, that is not in the literal sense. That is just like, oh, I'm so frustrated. I am fed up. I can't, what am I going to do? And it's just an expression, probably not a good one because that's not really what we mean, right? Saying what we mean. But if you really start thinking about, I love how Greg breaks it down in the video. So I want to show you in the video that it's not just about, not killing, because like we said, typically most people are not going to be worried about literally that commandment. But there are other ways that we kill people, aren't there? Let's watch the video. Let me get it set up here. Greg had it all ready for me. Let's watch this video, the day 10, about pleading the fifth. And when I come back on the other side, it's just 2 minutes, so don't go away. Watch the video and let's think about some of these other ways and think about it so that you can chime in then afterwards. Think about some of these ways that we maybe kill others with our words or our deeds, our actions.
In our day and age of politics and news, we hear about a lot of people taking the fifth right now. And the fifth that I want to talk about isn't the amendment. I want to talk about the fifth commandment. This is always one of those things that for me personally, I was always like, yeah, that's one sin that I don't have to confess. And when I walk into the confessional, I'm probably not going to say that I murdered anybody anytime soon. although sometimes we struggle to not do that. But when we walk into the confessional and we confess our sins, it's just not one that we think of. But we're wrong, because the fifth commandment isn't just about physical murder, and it isn't just about robbing somebody of their life. It also involves robbing somebody of their spiritual life. It's about injuring somebody's pride or their soul. It's about what we do out of anger or hatred to try to take something from somebody in the way of dignity. You see, the fifth commandment, when Christ gave it to us and talked about it again on the Sermon on the Mount and gave us the new laws, he went so much deeper. And the Catechism of our Catholic Church tells us that it involves those things of anger and hatred. So when you think about your day and you think about the way that you need to make a perfect act of contrition and examine your conscience, don't leave out the fifth. If you're somebody who struggles like I do and sometimes lets life get the best of you, it might just be that anger and hatred and your ability to hurt somebody with your words is just as powerful as the physical act of violence that we often associate with that commandment. So today, step back, examine your conscience, and pray for those that you have hurt and ask for forgiveness in every way that you've gone against the fifth commandment. God bless you, God keep you, and may He meet you everywhere that you desire Him always.
Okay, so what do you think? Interesting, huh? I've never really thought about all of that until I would listen to the video, and I was reminded of that because the fifth commandment is about, as Greg said, like dignity of human life, and we are created in the likeness and image of God, and while we are free to make choices how we wish, that may go against God, and unfortunately, but we all have the right to human life. And we were talking about it with Natalie last night, just kind of got on the topic of it and whatnot. That this is racism, sexism, all of those isms that we talk about that are so highlighted in the news and the media now, issues of that, it all comes back to just everyone's human dignity, the right to human dignity. I read this, I found a little reflection here, and I like just this: the human person is made in the image and likeness of God, and therefore it has an inalienable dignity and worth. We all have worth. Do you realize that? Even our enemies, they do have worth. We may not understand what that is, why they're doing what they're doing, why they're acting the way they're acting, why they're choosing to act out, why war is happening at this moment. We don't understand those things, but they are people. God created every single human person on this earth for a purpose. We don't, again, always understand that purpose. So I don't know. What do you think? Chime in. What are some ways that you, maybe now that you've heard this about the fifth commandment in this way, what are some things that we do to each other in ways that maybe small ways that we kill someone, tearing someone down? Sometimes, right? Sometimes we do that. We tear people down, kind of put them down to make ourselves feel better. But what does that do to the other person? when somebody's really excited about something or really something that they love, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I could never, eat that or something like that. I don't know. That's a little thing, but you know what I mean? Like then you just make the person feel really small. And so if it's someone that you do that too often, how does that slowly kill a person's soul, kill a person's being, their, sort of their mentality? I don't know. Millie says, great reminder. Spiritual maturity begins when we stop blaming others and take responsibility for our own actions. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Greg says, if people understood that this extended to the soul, it might make people feel very differently about how they commit sin. That's true. As a church, we need to do a better job teaching the extent of this particular commandment. Absolutely. It's not just about, literally killing people, because we do that in other ways too. So think about that today. What are some other ways, maybe, as Greg said in the video, examining your conscience, and where are there ways that maybe we're doing things that we don't even realize sometimes? That's the hard part. So I feel like for me sometimes is that I don't know that I notice or I realize. So that's why we have to take sometimes those quiet times of reflection and thinking about, are there things that I'm doing that are hurting other people? The way I'm saying things, or the way I'm acting, and look closely, because it's not just about the people. It's easy to look and say, well, when I'm at church, I'm pretty good. When I'm at work, looking at that. But what about the people around you at home? Because the cliche, we always hurt the ones we love. But isn't that so true? Is that they're the first line of defense, right? They're right there. They're right closest to us. And so we sometimes strike out at them when we're tired, when we're frustrated, when we're afraid. We obviously the people who are closest to us, who are right here, but those are the people we love the most, that we don't want to hurt, that we don't want to tear down their soul. I think about it in terms of parenting, but in terms of, building your children up. But it's the same thing with your spouse. It's the same thing with your best friend. So it can apply to everywhere. So I don't know. What's anybody thinking out there? Cindy, got any comments for me, Cindy? Ann, what do you think about this? You guys are probably all getting ready for your day and running around just listening. But anyway, something to think about. I think it's interesting looking at it this way. So I really don't have a whole lot for you this morning other than that. I hope sharing that has given you something to think about for today as you go into your weekend. Yeah. I hope you have a great weekend. And I'm trying to think what's going on. Production, help me out. Ooh, Greg, gossip. Cindy, wasn't sure how to write it. That's all right. This is a video to rewatch with the family tonight. Oh, good idea, Sonia. Very good idea. I like that. Greg says gossip is one of the biggest ones. We are getting other people's perceptions of another, and that is directly harming their spirit. That's true. Oh, when people do it as a joke? You mean like when people say, I'm going to kill you? Is that what you mean? Because I know sometimes I have said that for sure. Penny says that other dogs need to be nicer to each other and not bark so much. Penny is our rescue dog. We rescued her in December, in case you don't know. So thanks for chiming in, guys. See, I love it when we have this kind of conversation. Gina says ignoring someone, taking someone for granted. Oh my gosh, absolutely. That's a good one. Good one, Gina. Exactly. And I like your idea, Sonia, of watching it with the family. It's right. It's something to think about. We don't think about it as much. Yeah. Good idea. Good idea about the gossip. That's a good one, because you get sucked into that so easily, in conversations, and maybe innocently in talking about, someone else and what they're going through, even though, maybe they don't want people to know or whatever. You're saying it in a spirit of maybe, let's pray for them. Oh my gosh, they're going through such a hard time. And it kind of ends up turning into gossiping. So insults. And then they say, just kidding. It hurts sometimes. Cindy, you are absolutely right. That's a really good one. You know, you say a joke and then you say, just kidding. And maybe you got a hint that maybe it wasn't, you know, nice or, you know, something. I think I've heard that when you say those things and then you say, just kidding, you really, that's really what you meant to say, but you wanted to soften the blow a little bit or something. I don't really, but I've done that. I know I have. And, you know, maybe without thinking beforehand and maybe realizing afterwards, or maybe not, I don't know. Anne's just waking up to thinking about it now. So she'll keep thinking on that, but you are so right. Good. This is great, you guys. This is wonderful. I love when we have these kind of conversations just back and forth. And, yeah. So thanks for chiming in this morning. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. It's Friday, so yay, make today count. Make today count. Yeah, and make it a good day for someone else. There's someone I when I leave a message on her thing, she always says that. Make it a great day and make it a good day for someone else. So I'm sharing that with you today. Have a great weekend, and we will see you on Monday, I think with Libby. I don't think it's me, but it might be. I don't know what the date is now. It might be Libby. Before they go on the road because missions, parish missions are starting. So, yep, it's probably Libby Monday, and then I'll see you in another week or so. So, bye, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great day. Make it a great day for someone else, and we will see you on Monday. Take care.